joins me now. This is the man that Wisconsin has the choice of choosing tomorrow to be the Republican nominee to replace Paul Ryan in the House seat from Wisconsin, which also means taking him out of the Speaker's office as well. Paul, it's good to have you back on the program.
Always good to be on your show, Lars.
So, do you feel as though you've got a good, solid chance of keeping Paul Ryan on the ropes and defeating him tomorrow?
We do. We've been out knocking tens of thousands of doors per week, and we are getting great feedback at the doors. It is electric out here, I'm telling you, and it is just going to be a glorious day tomorrow in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's Independence Day is now going to be changed to August the 9th, when we pry ourselves free from control by corporate interests and globalists and anybody who is against the American worker, which the head of that snake is Paul Ryan, the soulless globalist who would sell our jobs overseas.
Tell me why you think Donald Trump came out and did what he did last week in endorsing Paul Ryan.
You know, I think that was a good leadership move on his part. He needs to unite the party, and he needs to unite the party, in my humble opinion, because if he doesn't, we will be subject to a third Barack Obama term with Hillary Clinton. And I think that was a smart move on his part. I have to win my own race here. You know, I think in his heart of hearts, Mr. Trump might be pulling for me, but that's only my conjecture, because other than a tweet of thanks that I responded with, "You're welcome," that's the only contact that I've had with Mr. Trump, and consequently, he had to pull a sheet of paper out to read from to endorse Paul Ryan, and he was by no means endorsing Paul Ryan's policies of open borders and shipping our jobs over to China and Vietnam and all these other countries. In no way. Mr. Trump is, in my estimation, not endorsing Paul Ryan and his policies. He's endorsing the Speaker's chair, which Paul Ryan happens to be sitting in at this time. That's all.
See, I'm glad you see it that way, because I wondered whether I was off base when this weekend I was thinking, well, he endorsed Ryan, but he can't possibly believe in the majority of the biggest policy issues that Ryan has taken, you know, on amnesty for illegal aliens, on the TPP. So I figure he's doing it as a piece of political jujitsu, where you say, I'm going to do this because it'll help reunite the family, the party. And then when the primary is over, Wisconsin voters have spoken, and they've chosen Paul Nehlen as the nominee that to run, and you're going to win in November, that he's achieved both. He's brought the party back together, but he also is going to get somebody like you in the Congress who's going to help him with the votes he's going to need to get these policies through.
That's exactly right. You're a smart guy, Lars. People see through what needs to be done, given the political cover that Hillary Clinton's getting from the news media.
All right, 3:35. I'm confirming the slide.
They are so out.
Radio.
Even Paul Ryan. I think I said before on your show, Paul Ryan should be reporting in-kind contributions to the Clinton campaign, because he is working on behalf of Paul Ryan. He is working against our party's nominee. He shares the same vision as Tim Kaine. Let's do amnesty. Paul Ryan would rubber stamp a Hillary Clinton TPP. He would rubber stamp amnesty. He would rubber stamp the expansion of the federal government in every part of our lives. He's already done it. Paul Ryan attached Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA. He has already harmed our children. And Paul Ryan is not working on behalf of Wisconsin workers. He's not working on behalf of American workers. He is absolutely working on behalf of his corporate masters, the same people that put money in his campaign coffers, the same people that benefited from Puerto Rico hedge fund investor bailout. Those people are the same ones that put money in Hillary Clinton's campaign.
I'm talking to Paul Nehlen, who is running. Tomorrow is the primary election in Wisconsin. Wisconsin voters will decide whether or not Paul Nehlen should be the Republican nominee, and that would effectively put Paul Ryan out no matter what the result is. I guess he could go for a third write-in run if he wanted to, but I don't think that's likely to be successful. But you're right, because when Hillary Clinton gave that acceptance speech at the Democrat convention, and she said, if I'm elected, I will make sure that only illegal aliens have a path to citizenship. That's amnesty. And if the media was doing its job, they would be asking Paul Ryan right now. So if Hillary Clinton becomes president, she proposes an amnesty, path to citizenship, whatever nice words you want to use to describe it. Will you, as the House Speaker, support it? And I have a feeling you're right. He would support it because he has supported amnesty for illegals.
Yeah, he's already said as much on his CNN Never Trump infomercial that he did, an hour-long interview with CNN. You know, he has ducked me on every opportunity to have a debate. He will talk to anybody. He's our Wisconsin 1st District Congressman. If he's going to do a CNN town hall, why didn't he do it here in Janesville? Why didn't he do it in Kenosha? Why didn't he do it in one of the towns or cities that he represents? No, he goes to New York City where he can be coddled by the media elite who are working against America. There are a group of Democrats and a group of Republicans, and I've got finger quotes around that part of my sentence, because they only are beholden to the dollar. They only care about getting themselves power and money. And Paul Ryan is literally the head of that snake. And tomorrow we're going to chop the head of that snake off.
Chop the head of the snake
Well, in fact, other than that kind of analysis, what you just did earlier in explaining Trump's endorsement, nothing else about it makes sense, because the very people that like Paul Ryan the best in the Republican establishment are the same kind of people who tried to torpedo Trump in the primaries, and I think are still behind the efforts to suggest, as is being ridiculously suggested today, that some unnamed person whose name, some named person whose name is unknown to the vast majority of Americans is somehow going to run a third-party campaign as a conservative against Donald Trump. It makes no sense. It could only be used to help make sure that Hillary becomes president, which again fits right into the agenda of the establishment Republican Party, and that is trade under unfair deals and amnesty for illegal aliens who provide the workforce for an awful lot of the establishment.
That's right. Think about the disdain that those people have for the American voters. Think about the level of disdain they have for people making choices. Mr. Trump got more votes than has ever been gotten. And the level of disdain that they have for the American voter is disturbing. It turns my stomach even to have to talk about it.
Hey, Paul, before we hit the break, tell people where to find your website to help you from outside of Wisconsin.
That is great. I really appreciate you giving me that opportunity. Go to electnehlen.com, electnehlen.com. And after you do that, if you can put $5, $10, $50, max out at $2,700, all of this stuff costs money.
The Lars Larson Show.